All right, our countdown continues. 5 reasons the Seattle Seahawks will make the playoffs, despite what the Vegas odds say, despite what the national talking heads say. Dave and I have determined they are going to make the playoffs for 5 very specific reasons. And this, again, barring any significant injuries. That changes everything. But we're up to number 3. What's your number 3 reason, Dave?
Defense, consistency, particularly. You look at the way that they finished the season, and it just kind of broke down. It was such a weird year with Mike Macdonald coming in with his new defense and trying to get it right, especially the 2 inside linebackers. But so I kind of broke it down into 3 different phases. If you look at the first 3, now I know those weren't great opponents. They had Denver, who was 10-7. They almost made the playoffs. And then New England had 4 wins, and Miami had 8 wins. But they just started off like a house of fire, man. I mean, they were giving up 250 yards and 14 points in those 3 games. But then the next 6, going into the bye week, is where they just entirely fell apart. And if you look at the stats, what they were giving up 30 points and 412 yards, which would make them number 31 and number 32 at the end of the season.
That's
Reminder,
not good, right?
Huh?
That's not good, right?
Yeah. Reminder, 32 teams.
Yeah.
So, it was terrible during that stretch. But a couple games after, as you pointed out yesterday, Bob, Ernest Jones got in there and everything went much better. In spite of them giving up 403 yards and 25 points to the Rams at the end of that was a bad way to end the season, as far as defensively, because this was a team that, they didn't have any of their starters in there. It was Jimmy Garoppolo. They didn't have Kyron Williams. I don't think Nakua was in there. So that was bad, but it kind of balanced out the Bears because they gave up 180 yards and 3 points in that game. But anyway, long story short, I mean, at the end of the year, those last 8 games, they were giving up 304 yards, which is always good. Around 300, it's been good in the NFL for years. And then they were giving up 18 points. So that ranking right there would have given them number 2 and number 3 in points and yards. So that's the kind of, now I'm not expecting number 2 and number 3 and top 5 in every single category, but they ended the year middling pretty much in every stat, whether it was pass yards, total yards, run yards. They were 11, 15, 14. So, if they can get back to where they were at the end of the year, which I think is fairly reasonable to expect, I think it's going to be a much better year.
Well, and it speaks to how dominant they were in the second half. If you were, ranking 31, 32, 30, and all these different defensive metrics, and you played so well in the second half that it brought you all the way up to the middle.
Right.
I mean, that speaks to how much of a turnaround it was, and it was massive. And I agree with that. I got another individual. My number 3 is Devon Witherspoon, and obviously a big part of the defense. We've talked incessantly about just how versatile he is and how you can use him on the outside, on the inside. He can rush the quarterback. He's got a nose for the ball. He's kind of like Earl in that you're watching him on TV and all of a sudden he just appears in the screen. He's a heat-seeking missile out there. And more importantly than that, I think he kind of brings an attitude that they've been missing since the Legion of Boom days. There's kind of that edge that obviously Sherm brought, that Earl brought, that Cam brought. Some were vocal. Cam's the quiet assassin. He's vocal, but he's a hard hitter for how small he is. He's incredibly physical. He's a great tackler, and I just feel like he just kind of brings that element that I feel like we've been missing. We've had good players since the Legion of Boom, certainly, but that edge, that attitude. And he's had it since day one. And much like we talked about before, I'm excited to see what does he look like with just a year under his belt with Mike Macdonald. Now it's familiar. Now it's secondhand. He's not learning anything new, so to speak. Obviously, there are going to be new wrinkles, but just that one more year of comfort under his belt that I'm the man. I know what's going on here. I know this defense. I know what he wants. I know what he expects. I know where this guy should line up. I know where he should be. I just have faith in his growth and his maturity, and he's just got that intangible, and that's that edge that I think, I don't know who brought it prior to his arrival. After the Legion of Boom, it felt like we were kind of missing that.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I'm just thinking about, I was walking off the field the last game. We go down on the field before the games, and then Rabel and I go up to the booth, and just as I was going through the tunnel, the DBs were running out.
Yeah.
And the last guy was Spoon, and you talked about how he's always in motion and moving and everything. It's the same thing. I mean, he was hopping around and talking trash and yelling at the fans, and I mean, I don't know where he gets the energy. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I do like the point you made about the edge, because I think the Pacific Northwest, I mean, typically they embraced Richard Sherman because he backed it up, right?
Yeah.
And I think
before him, Gary Payton.
Yeah.
We all took pride in the
Right.
the sort of mouthy guys, but they backed it up. We'd hate them if they were on another team.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they were our guys, and
Right.
both those guys talked a lot, and they backed it all up.
Yeah. It's like, well, he's our jerk.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's okay. And Spoon is not a jerk, man. He is just, and you never see him getting in any fights or anything out on the field, but man, he is just always in motion. I think everybody appreciates his game. And one of the things, because I brought him up yesterday, we had a discussion about Jalen Carter, who got selected by the Eagles, and a lot of people thought the Seahawks should have taken him. But you look at I think one thing we didn't bring up was the percentage of snaps. Mm-hmm. And another thing, because he's playing 98% of the snaps, and you look at Jalen Carter, he's probably, around 65 or whatever. But another thing, and I know our guy Paul Moyer, who we have on every week, thought the same thing, and that's that. I think it would be a shame for him to play out on the edge, to play corner. He needs to be in the mix, and it's interesting to say that, because if you look at him, he's not a big guy, and yet. He's just, like I said yesterday, he's very hard to block, and I think he does a lot more damage. Plus, you see him every once in a while, like smoking running backs. Like he'll come up and pop you. So, yeah, I love everything about him as a player. And the other thing is McDonald seems to love him.
Because they have a cool relationship.
Yeah.
It seemed like it started pretty quickly.
Right.
With McDonald, he was doing a presser outside, and Spoon walked by and was
Yeah.
chirping about something, and he said something along, paraphrasing, like, yeah, Spoon knows everything about football, just ask him, or something like that. Like, obviously with a smile on his face, but it seemed like that relationship got tight quickly, which I love.
Yeah.
I love you got a defensive-minded coach, and you got a guy who just is on 10 at all times. Yeah. I love that connection that they've got.
He might go to 11, Bob.
He might go to 11, yeah. But it's he to me, he's the straw. I still think to this point, and maybe somebody else will emerge, but if we're just talking about the best player on the team at any position, to me, it's Witherspoon.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right? Because he was the number 5 pick. I'm trying to remember the last time we had a pick inside top 5, and he should be, right? So, but yeah, there's just a uniqueness to him that is, it's fun to watch. So, and I know that gets said a lot. Oh, he's really fun to watch. But no, it's just like a pure joy. I don't think anybody's ever going to accuse him of loafing or not giving his all 100%. I mean, he's a fantastic player.
There you go. There's reason number 3. The Seattle Seahawks will make the playoffs. Stay tuned. We got 2 more big reasons why they're going to go to the postseason.